Alright, Beerzerker hits to the Westler, the Bear Pa Henny Lager. Alright. Um, 5%, as was all of the beers in the sampler pack. See if they got a spiel. You want to hear the spiel? Bear Paw Honey Lager is a small batch brewed with organic BC honey, so you can actually smell and taste the silky smooth honey, but be careful where you put your bottle down. We don't want to bring some friends out of hibernation. Alright, so we got a bear on the bottle. Reminds me of my buddy. He's a dog and he has paws too. And the honey part, I got a buddy and he's a beekeeper. Reminds me of him. But let's do her up. Alright. These are 330 milliliter bottles. They're actually pretty cool. I can see some your bottlers, if you're going to reuse them, could have issues with this style of top. But wouldn't stop me from trying to use it. Nice solid bottle. Alright. So let's see what's going on here a bit. Looks like the beers are pretty similar in color. I know what's up. You guys don't want to have 10,000 different types of barley rolling around. Ooh, that smells so, yeah, you're getting the honey. It's like the dark honey, you know what I mean? Well, maybe not. Oh, wow. That's a nice clear beer. Very transparent. And this is the lager. Okay, now look at the head on that. You would swear that was an ale. That's a nice fine head. Better than the Powder Mountain Lager head than their other lager. That's the only thing I wish about that beer is that the head and the CO2 was a bit. Well, the CO2 was good for that beer, but this has a much nicer head. Although it's disappearing fast. Great aroma. You're smelling the honey. It's got kind of a musky, just a nice. Damn, I almost call them liars, but I almost swear that's an ale. With that head on there. Man. So, getting the sweetness off that honey. Oh, yeah. Maltiness in there. Great mouthfeel on the carbonation. It's kind of a lower carb. Um, I don't think I get this one too cold. I took this out of the fridge. Just right. Even if it warmed up a little bit, that'd be okay. Same with all the beers. You don't have to freeze these. The Powder Mountain Lager is pretty good cold though. Yeah, I don't know. What this lager business? I suppose it's possible, but I'm having a hard time believing it. This is just way too good to be a lager, in my opinion. But you know, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe the honey's messing with my taste buds. I can't imagine they're lying about it. Only Alexander Keith would lie about shit like that. Um, yeah, doesn't discuss their yeast pitching on the bottle. What strain of yeast they put in here. Mm. Back to the beer. Well, the aroma is great. I'm just smelling a lot of CO2 coming off the beer, and yeast type smells, and maltiness is nice and cool. Um, First off, the flavor you're getting is just the foam and the mouthfeel, then it goes straight to more of the honey flavors and the maltiness. There's not a whole lot of bitterness in the beer. There's enough, but you're definitely catching more malts and honey. But it is dried out from the yeast and the alcohol, right? It's not a real sweet beer, but in the end, you're catching just loads of like malty tastes and residual sweet type tastes off the honey, like residual honey flavors and stuff. Well, the head on this, I guess, reminds me a bit of like a Vienna lager, like the Negermodella, so maybe it's a lager. Completely different style bubbles than what's on their Powder Mountain lager, though. Yep, you're getting malts and honey like right up front, and in the end, middle, you just maybe pick up a bit of hops. Um, Mouthfeel stuff. It's very low carb, uh, fairly smooth. Not as smooth as your whiskey jack, but yeah, bitterness kind of throughout, but very mild. Hmm. That's a fabulous beer. Actually, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I did the first time. There we go. Get some foam happening again. Very fine bubbles, very small. That's what we like to see. That's what I like to see. Look at that. Oh, you're not seeing that the way I do. Residual honey. Oh, great aroma. Holy smokes. That's awesome. These honey beers are kick-ass. I've seen people put maple syrup in beers, and that's the shits. Let me tell you, it's not good. But honey in beer is the shiznit. Fucking shiznit. Another British Columbia brewery. Nelson does the organic honey. Um, Ale, that is also the shiznit. That's a fucking killer beer, and this is one that is fucking killer too. So if a brewery is using honey, drink that beer. If they're putting maple syrup in it, maybe pass it by. Like Innocent Gun, I did the review of the Innocent Gun Canadian Cherrywood finish, and they used maple syrup in that beer. It wasn't that shit hot. It wasn't as good as this beer. And that's an Innis. Like Innis is fucking. That's serious shit. This beer's outperforming the latest Innis, which um, several of the latest Innis products are shit. I got one. I almost want to redo it because I gave it too high of a rate. Right before I put it up, it was a Scottish Pale. I'm just gonna milk it a little bit because I'm gonna slow down in this beer. I just drank three. This is my third Whistler now, so I better slow it down for a minute. But uh, my fourth really tonight, but that was a couple hours ago. But I get excited about these sampler packs. Back to the Innis Scottish Pale Ale. That one wasn't. It was okay, but it wasn't. Compared to their original and their rum finish and their Irish whiskey cask one, it's a bit of a letdown. Yeah, no, this is great. It tastes like it looks. It's just very amber tasting, but the honey just gives it that extra something, which actually completely enhances the beer. It doesn't take away from it in any way. It just complements the malts and just makes for a fabulous product. Um, really happy about it. Um, you do have to be in the right. You have to be conditioned. Like make sure that you're ready for this beer when you try it. Make sure maybe yeah, chicken it up before have some pork, some chicken before you try this beer, and then maybe have a beer before and something to warm you up a little bit. Maybe snap into this one here. I really like this one. Maybe definitely get the sampler pack and drink a couple of these whiskey jacks before you snap into the honey lager because if you get a little bit cut, you're going to be a lot more conditioned to their lagers. I normally do lagers before ales, but I don't know if that's necessarily a rule, especially when your lagers are this color and this malty. Mm, damn, just getting better as it warms up too and flattens out. It's not hurting it. Oh, the honey, oh, great. Just really well balanced, complementing the bitterness completely. Um, yeah, very low carb. Nice deal there. Yeah, honey garlic chicken wings with this would just be a mind-bending experience. Chicken fajita would be really good with this too. Nachos and cheese, like your Mexican type foods, like something a little bit spicy, would go really good with this nice malty honey lager. Cooling lager would be fantastic. Mm. Oh man, honey malt. Oh, so good. Final rate. I'm really glad I tried this one after I had a few at the last one because I'm really enjoying this. A bit half snapped. Oh, I'm gonna have to eat something now. Oh, that's so good. Well, I'm gonna pretend this one out of 11 too. It's as good as the whiskey jack. Those are probably the two best ones in the sampler pack. Would be the whiskey jack and the Bear Paw honey. Uh, Definitely pick up the sampler pack. That's not a real risky endeavor. Definitely worth your money. Yeah, support your local breweries and they sell this shit at Fat Burger. So grab yourself a burger because Fat Burger is the fucking shit. Yeah. What do I give it a? No, I know. I give it a 10. 10 out of 11. It's as good as a whiskey jack, so it's 10 out of 11. Deal with it.